Hey everybody, in this video we're doing a roundup of this weekend's game against Minnesota United and the preview for the CONCACAF Champions Cup against, of course, Lionel Messi's Inter Miami. Hey everybody, Tyler here. Thank you so much for joining us here on Big TV. If you want to see more Nashville SC fan content, don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe button. Now, of course, it's been a good weekend for Nashville SC, beating Minnesota United 3-1. I think we played very well again. I think this form that we're developing at home, starting to build, is looking really, really good. I think really the Dallas game was probably a little bit of a consequence of Sam Surridge not being available. And honestly, we look back to our best with Sam in the team. It does show you just how much Sam does, though. I mean, the amount of drawing of defenders he does, the amount of pressing he does, the way that he manages to hold the ball up and really be a focal point for our attack makes such a big difference. And I think we really need to make sure that he is in the team. And if he's not in the team, I think we need to have Pasillas in there because we saw what he did this weekend. 2 goals, a great performance from Yazbek, who was involved in all 3 of the goals, a pre-assist and 2 assists for those goals. And we also saw Espinoza step up and take that responsibility that he mentioned about in the press conference. It was amazing to see him both come out and be honest about that and then also step up and do something about it. And I think that's something to really love about this guy. You know, he's become part of the fabric of the club very quickly and is going to be, I have no doubt he's going to be a huge success in Nashville, and he's already doing that, having got that goal. So I'm excited. I think in terms of the way we played, we pressed really well. We really dominated and we had this intensity about us that was undeniable, really. I think the intensity was the thing that really caught Minnesota off guard. And I think that is what we need to be carrying into this game on Wednesday night. So in terms of this Inter Miami game, I'm kind of a little bit nervous. I'm also a little bit excited. I've sat down on the analysis, and this is going to be a tough team to beat. No doubt about it. They're a quality team. They may have had that 3-0 loss at the start of the season, but since then they've picked up. They've looked good. They do have defensive frailties, but they are certainly a strong team. I think we can go about this game in 2 ways from a tactical perspective. We can either sit there and treat it like an LAFC kind of game, treat it with a lot of transition play, but really LAFC are built for that, and we sold Schaffelberg to them and Tyler Boyd. We sold those players to LAFC for that reason. And so I think our only choice is the second option, which is to play our style of football, but really go for them. We have to be on top of them, and we have to play with really perfection. We have to play almost perfectly in this game. We have to be willing to risk a little bit more, and hopefully we get the rewards for that. Now, in terms of the risks, I think we really need to be committing men to individual players, but we cannot be marking Messi with 2 or 3 players. I think if you look in the DC United game this weekend where they scored, they had 4 DC United players effectively boxing around Messi, which left DePaul a ton of space on the edge of the box to just pop that ball into the top of that corner of the net. And I think we're going to have to really commit, a lot like we did last year when Corcoran played in the playoff game, I believe it was, and really just marked Messi out of the game. That's kind of his job. We're going to have to kind of commit in that sort of way. I don't know if we want to really go man-to-man, man-mark Messi, but I do think we need to have one player who's really committed and going to make the tackles. We're going to step in front of him and get that ball first. I think Wellesley could be really good at this, and he's done well at the weekend. If you look at there's a moment in the Minnesota game, he steps in, receives the ball, and sets up a counter. And I think it's that kind of play that we're going to need to see from him. I think he could be the man to really kind of cause Messi some problems, I think. And he's the man that I'm looking at for this game. I think if you look at the way that we've been playing defensively, we've kind of been playing with a kind of 4-3-3 in defense. Then Wheel kind of pushes out from that left side of the central midfield. I think we kind of need to bring in that style that we had against Ottawa, where we had 3 players blocking out the passing lanes between their defense and their midfield, because I think that really is a strong option against this Miami team. If we can block off those passes to Bright and DePaul, and perhaps Hani and Sam have to sit as a 2 in front of those 2 players and make them play around us, I think that's going to increase our chances of getting the ball back and having the ability to transition. We, of course, do well when we win that ball back in transition. That goal against Minnesota this weekend where Yazbek wins the header down to Hani with a nice pass out to Espinoza, and Espinoza finishes. That kind of a bit of play would be the kind of goal that I can see us scoring against this Miami side. But I think it's going to be more difficult to play in that way and to win those transitions. I think we just need to be all-out attack, press, pretty much play that heavy metal football style that we used to talk about with Klopp and Liverpool. Really press them high, keep them hemmed in. I don't think they have a ton of pace to go up front, really, but we need our defenders to be really strong in the challenges and win that ball back, particularly against Bertarame, for instance. I mean, in terms of their players you've got to look out for, of course, there's Messi. We can't overmark him, as I've mentioned. But I mean, Allende, Silvetti, Bertarame, I mentioned, of course, and then DePaul is a quality player. All of those are problems, and we just need to be aware of all of those. Of course, two of those are playing on those wings, and I think Lovitz is going to have a real stint in this game. He's obviously more defensively solid, but I've seen him make mistakes last year in the playoffs, for instance. So we just need a lot of composure from him, a good amount of intensity, and he's just got to make really good decisions basically all game. If we can push up on that left side, that is probably their weakest point. They're going to play with Mora and play him quite high. He often plays much higher than Allende, for instance, and pushes right up and keeps them high and wide. And if we can win a ball back and then transition down into that left-sided pocket, that is a one way that I can see us being able to have a lot of success. Balls across to Espinoza, across to Sam, across to Hani, maybe running into the box. That is an opportunity. But again, I feel like our right back may be a place that they can attack as well, with Silvetti looking really good, coming on in that second half of that game against Orlando, and then playing well again at DC United this weekend to give that assist for Messi. It's going to be it's basically a tale of two right backs. I think both of our right backs are potentially weaknesses, but they're also great attacking strengths. And so we're going to be playing in a very similar way. Of course, with that frailty, I think Eddie or Yazbek has to be really aware and sit in between our two central defenders. I've noticed that they seem to interchange. So if Eddie runs forward, Yazbek will sit back. And if Yazbek runs into those channels, as he did so well this weekend, then Eddie will sit and drop in front of the defenders as well, just to keep that solidity and have a three that can really be there to defend against the transition. So I think that's an important part of how we've got to play this game. We've got to be disciplined. We've also got to be exciting. We've got to be front foot attacking, high tempo. And honestly, this Miami defense, when they are transitioned against or pressed against, they don't always look particularly organized. And as I say, Moore is always so desperate to push up and out that there are holes to be had there on that left-hand side. So potentially it's a Madrigal and wheel space, or maybe even Sam cutting in on that left. But it's an opportunity. I think possibly a game for Madrigal if he can get around the outside and get crosses across the front of their goal. I can see us also being able to get our head on that. Sam get his head on it in particular, and perhaps get a couple of goals that way. That would be great. I think there's also an opportunity to look for set pieces here. They're not the biggest team, and I think we've done okay from our set pieces so far. We've had a lot of mess and chaos caused by our set pieces, and I think there are opportunities there for us to perhaps grab a goal or two as well, because I can't see this team wanting to defend set pieces. So if we can keep maybe even just playing to win those set pieces, I could see us being able to get something out of this game. Now, of course, we can't do that to them, but their set pieces are incredibly good. So we're going to have to play super clean. We're going to have to get in front of the ball probably, rather than trying to be making 50-50 challenges. We need to be really switched on, really aware, read the game, read those balls in, and step in front of this Miami opposition. I think that's the biggest opportunity we've got. Ultimately, this is going to be a really tough game. It's going to be a tough game. I want to sit there and say, oh, we'll be absolutely fine and we play the same football that we did. They've got no chance. But this is a high quality opposition. They are a higher quality. They are a really good footballing side, the way they play. And honestly, we're not geared to play in the way LAFC did. So we've got to go fire with fire. We've really got to go head to head. We both want the ball. We both want to be attacking. We both want to play that kind of beautiful game. And I think that's where this is going to be exciting. I can see this being a quite high scoring game, as much as I don't want it to be. I don't want that to be the situation, particularly in this competition, but I could see it being a fairly high scoring game. And I mean, for us as viewers, that's great fun. As Nashville SC fans, maybe not so much. I really want to come out of this with a really, completely convincing win. But honestly, against this quality of opposition, I don't think it's going to be there yet. I don't think we're there yet. I think maybe we give it a year and maybe another transfer window, and we could perhaps blow this team away. But they're slightly overpowered compared to the rest of the league. Like, they are a very good side, and the way they play and the way they're coached is very difficult to play against ultimately. So this is going to be a tough one. I don't think it's impossible for us to win. I think it is possible and maybe even probable we get some sort of result here. But blowing them away, I think, is an unlikely one here. So when it comes to score predictions, I'm going to say that this game is going to be a 3-2 to Nashville SC. It's not ideal. I don't really want them to have 2 goals to take into that next game. I do think we can get the win here. I think it's important that the team is really up for this, and I'm sure they will be. And I think it's also important that the crowd is up for this. We need to really be that 12th man for this game. If you're considering not attending, change your plans. This is really important. This is big. This is actually the thing that Inter Miami are going for most this year. And if we can disrupt that, I think that is a massive credit to Nashville SC. And it also sets the trend going into the rest of the season. This is the chance that we can say we are going to be competing for MLS Cup. We are going to be competing for Supporters Shield. We are going to make this difficult for you. And we really are contending. We are a soccer club that means it, and we're going to be here for the long run. I think if we can do that as fans and be behind that team, be there for them, turn up on the Wednesday night, no matter the weather, no matter whatever's going on, just be there to support this team and make a difference. You can actually make a difference in this. Ultimately, it's a chance to build a legacy and to build something for a very young club that already states intention and shows that we really are in this for the long haul and could be one of the greatest teams in MLS history. And I think that's really exciting and a chance to put Tennessee on the map in a different way. And I think that really is partly on the fans as much as it's on the team and the backroom staff. So that's my match preview. Let me know how you think this game is going to go. I'd love to also hear your score predictions in the comments. It's a chance for us to do something great here. It's a chance for us to also ruin Inter Miami's plans for the year, and that would be pretty great in my book. And ultimately, it's going to be a great game. So if you're considering coming or you're not sure or you're on the fence, be there. I don't think you're going to regret being at this one. And we could see a really great result and a historic result for Nashville SC and the start of our continuing success in the Champions Cup. And hopefully we get all the way to that final. I'd love to see it. So thank you so much for watching. The predicted 11 will be out in the next few hours. So don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe button to catch that. And I'll see you in the next one.